Welcome to the District 11 Texas 4-H Opportunity Scholarship Training. My name is Meredith Carter. I'm an Extension Program Specialist with Texas 4-H Youth Development Program. I am based specifically in District 11, so my office is in our Corpus Christi office. Thank you all for joining us. As we go through today's training, if you have any questions, please put them in the text chat. At the end, we'll go through and answer any questions that you have. This training is specifically for the Texas 4-H Opportunity Scholarship and not any other opportunities. So if this is what you're here for, great, we'll go through it. If not, let's visit after the training and I can see what we can do to help you best. So the Texas 4-H Opportunity Scholarship is overseen by the Texas 4-H Foundation. We give out an estimated $2.2 million annually at the Texas 4-H Roundup Scholarship Assemblies. The minimum value of our scholarship is $3,000. The maximum value of any of our scholarships is $20,000. We provide over 200 scholarships annually, and we will provide over 200 in 2019. The Texas 4-H Opportunity Scholarships are academic-based scholarships, and I'll show you that here in a little bit, but we base them largely on academic record, 4-H experience, and a few of them are based on financial need, but not all of them. So this year we have a pretty significant change. We don't have any changes in the application per se, but we do have a change in the submission process. So the applications will be submitted via 4-H Connect. The dates for scholarship interviews and presentations are going to be provided a little bit later. Please make sure that those dates work for you. Participation in the interview and scholarship assemblies is required for any youth to receive a scholarship. Interviews will be conducted in College Station in May. And please pay close attention to the attachments, and we'll go through a little bit of that. But those are going to be uploaded into 4-H Connect. So everything is labeled at the top for each scholarship type, and so we want to make sure that we are putting in the appropriate information in the appropriate boxes. So there are 4 types of scholarships that are available. We have a baccalaureate scholarship for students pursuing a Bachelor of Science or a Bachelor of Arts at a major Texas 4-H college or university. We have a technical scholarship for those students who want to pursue a technical certification such as an LVN or an RN or a welding certificate or something of the sort. We have a Courageous Heart Scholarship, which is for those members who have overcome significant obstacles in their life related to either a medical need or a family situation or maybe an educational obstacle. This is for students who are willing to pursue or wanting to pursue either a 4-year or a technical certification. We also have a collegiate scholarship for those youth who are, or young adults, I should say, who are currently in college. They must be former 4-H students who are in college, and they must have completed 30 hours and have a minimum grade point average of at least 2.7. So some general eligibility requirements are that they must be an active member for this year and at least 2 of the 3 previous years. They must be a United States citizen and be a Texas resident. They must be scheduled to graduate from a Texas high school, either public, private, or homeschool in 2018-2019. And they must have been accepted to a Texas college or university or technical school by the time of interview. We do not award scholarships to those youth who are going to school outside of the state of Texas. That is not our stipulation. That is a stipulation put on us by our donors. And so they really want to see that they are using their money wisely, and they're using it in the state of Texas. Some additional requirements include that they must have completed and passed all necessary and standardized tests and requirements for graduation and have met entrance requirements for the college or university for which formal application has been made. Applicant may apply for the Texas 4-H and Texas FFA scholarship programs. However, there are some restrictions. We don't need you to worry about those restrictions. Our scholarship teams with the Texas FFA and Texas 4-H program work together to figure out where each youth best fits in the scholarship programs. Excuse me. They must submit a 2019 scholarship application via 4-H Connect. And applicants who receive a Terry Foundation scholarship are not eligible to receive a Texas 4-H scholarship. Application must be complete and correct, and once it is submitted, no updates will be allowed. This is the biggest change from years past. In the past, I've been allowed to go in and review these scholarship applications. And to be honest, it takes a significant amount of time. It takes me about 2 weeks to go through all of our scholarship applications and allow for updates and corrections. This year, once you submit them to your county office and once they are submitted to the district office, there will be absolutely no updates or corrections allowed. So if anything is incorrect or incomplete, it will be immediately disqualified. So some minimum requirements for the baccalaureate scholarship: you must have a minimum score of 19 and a minimum score of 950 or a minimum score of 950 on the SAT. For your information, the average ACT in the past has been between 24 and 26, and the average SAT score in the past in 2017 was an 1183. The average GPA has been between 94 and 96. So the scores must be from the same test date, and we will not allow any updated test scores or academic rankings will be accepted after the application date. They must be in the upper 1/2 of their class based on scholastic rank for the first 3.5 years. This is incredibly important. Last year, I had a number of scholarships that did not include the first semester of their senior year. And so this year, we are requiring that the transcript include the first semester of their senior year. Some scholarships and donors do require that they be in the upper 1/4 of their class. So to be eligible for a technical scholarship, you must not have plans to continue formal education at a Texas college and or university after the completion of a technical program. So for those kids who are getting an RN, but maybe later want to pursue a BSN or an MSN, those are not going to be that is not what our technical scholarship is created for. They don't have to meet the minimum test score requirements or class ranking requirements, but they must show in their academic record prove that they are willing to complete the certification. So the Courageous Heart eligibility requirements are similar to what we require for a baccalaureate or a technical. They do not have to meet the minimum SAT or ACT or GPA requirements, but they do submit the 3 narratives and an additional narrative discussing their obstacle. They have to have 3 letters of support from those references, and they will not be considered for any other Texas 4-H Opportunity Scholarship. The maximum value of our Courageous Heart Scholarship is $5,000. To be eligible for a collegiate scholarship, you must be a United States citizen and a Texas resident. You must have been an active member in the Texas 4-H program. You must be attending a Texas college or university and have been a graduate for at least 1 year prior to the award. You must have completed 30 hours of undergraduate work and have a 2.7 cumulative GPA at the time of application. There is a separate application and separate guidelines for this scholarship. At the end of the presentation, I will get online. I'll show y'all where you can find all of this information. So this is a scoring breakdown, rubric, if you will, of how we score our scholarships. Here you can see that the baccalaureate and the technical scholarships are heavily weighted on 4-H experience and those narratives. I will tell you that I was a judge a couple of years ago, and those narratives can make or break a child. If they don't do a good job writing their narratives and spending some time and really putting their heart and soul into it, if a judge can't feel like they get to know them in those narratives, it can really affect their score. So please pay close attention to those sections there. The SAT and ACT score you can see is 23% of the overall score for a baccalaureate. Across the board, financial need is only 12%. So you can see there that it's a portion of the score, but it is not entirely what our scholarship is based on. The interview is 10% for baccalaureate and technical scholarships, and 20% for those Courageous Heart youth. So this is how the scholarship will play out, and this is the process for the scholarship. We've released the application information to you as our 4-H families. The submission will be done by February 1st, I believe. And then the verification and certification happens, and so that's when the applications run through the county office, the district office, and the state office. Then late March, applications are judged, and then notification, interview notification will happen mid-April. Once the interviews take place the first weekend of May, we do a scholar selection notification at that time. And then once they're notified, they are required to be at the scholarship banquets and presentations during Texas 4-H Roundup. So these are our website references, so that way you can find these resources. I'll also put them, they're on our website, and I'll show you how to get to those very easily. So the Texas 4-H Foundation website has all of the guidelines and the forms that are required. The FAFSA website is a federal website, and so I can't stress to you enough the importance of filling out your FAFSA before December 31st. If you do not have your FAFSA done by December 31st, it's going to be incredibly difficult for you to meet our deadline and have it submitted by the 1st of February. And then, of course, everything will be uploaded into Texas 4-H Connect. So this is the order of the application. You will see here that we have every section that we've had in the past. We have personal information, college or university information, individual scholastic record, livestock show participation, financial information, project experience, leadership experience, citizenship and community service, and honors, outside 4-H experience, a personal narrative and a career narrative, and then the acknowledgement of integrity, participation, and certification. There are 3 additional sections for the Courageous Heart applicants, and then the required attachments of the ACT and SAT scores, a transcript, and the FAFSA student activity report. It should be noted, I'm going to back up one slide, but it should be noted that a recipient of any Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo Scholarship may not receive more than $90,000 in total financial aid from any other scholarships to remain eligible to receive the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo Scholarship. The 4-H scholarship application will be uploaded on 4-H Connect this year, so they're individual uploads, and I'll share some screenshots with you in the coming slides. We need to make sure that your information on 4-H Connect, your family information and the 4-H youth information is updated. The correct name, the correct email, correct phone number, etc. Because the system will automatically pull that information to pull into our spreadsheets. And so please make sure that you are using that information, that information is updated and correct. So this is a first screenshot of what it's going to look like on 4-H Connect. You'll see the very first box. You'll select the individual member and then select the 2019 Texas 4-H Scholarship application. The worksheets are designed to guide you through the process. The registration, or the register button, I should say, is the actual registration for the scholarship itself. This is what the personal information section will look like. We'll need the full name, a phonetic spelling of the name, which is how you sound it out, an email, and verifying that you are a United States citizen. Section 2 will be the college and university information. That first box is incredibly important. That is what we use to guide the career narratives. It's a preferred career choice. And so this is where you would put in whether you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or a veterinarian or a certified public accountant, whatever you may want to be. That is where we put it in that box. And then, of course, you list your first, second, and third choices of the major universities that you are applying to. Section 3 is the livestock show participation. This information will be verified with each livestock show, so please make sure that this is honest and truthful to the best of your knowledge. These two particular questions will guide us in the direction if we need to award a Fort Worth or a San Antonio School Tour scholarship. Those two scholarships do require participation in their shows. The individual scholastic record is incredibly important. There's an individual sheet that has some information we'll need to collect on it. You will see here that you will select your high school type, your expected graduation date, your quartile ranking in graduation class. This is a requirement. Quartile ranking is absolutely 100% required to be eligible for a Texas 4-H Opportunity Scholarship. And then the high school GPA through the first half of the senior year, through the first semester, must be provided. It must be on a 100-point unweighted scale. Please do yourself a favor and double check that it is on a 100-point unweighted scale. Extra points given for honors and AP classes should be excluded. Other scales will result in immediate disqualification. Failure to provide class and quartile ranking can result in disqualification also. If your school does not rank or provide quartile rankings, please make sure and visit with your county extension agent or give me a call so we can work through this. There have been cases where I have to visit with the school district to provide a quartile ranking so that way we can have an answer there. So this is where you will upload the individual scholastic record and the official high school transcript. Please make sure on the transcript, you will have to look at it and double check it, that the social security number, if your school puts a social security number on it, that it is blacked out so we don't receive that information in our system. The individual scholastic record will be completed and signed by either the high school principal, counselor, registrar, somebody in that capacity. All uploads must be PDF files, and so if you're having any issues with that, please visit with your county extension agent and they can help you convert everything to a PDF file and get it uploaded. This is what the baccalaureate and technical scholarship individual scholastic record looks like. You will see that there's information at the top, and then there's some academic information needed right there in the middle that refers to GPA, quartile ranking, SAT scores, ACT scores, and a box there for any additional information that they would like to provide. And it requires their signature, official title, and date. This is the individual scholastic record for the Courageous Heart application. And so this application, this individual scholastic record only asks the information that is required of Courageous Heart applicants. So on the individual scholastic record, we do require that official SAT and ACT scores are uploaded. If they are included on your transcript, that is okay. But you will need to put in the total scores there in those two boxes, or one of those boxes, either or, right there, and upload those test scores. You can download your test scores from the SAT website or the ACT website to upload them. So on the financial information, this is where you will upload the FAFSA student aid report. It must contain an EFC number. This is absolutely 100% required. This will result, if you do not have a student aid report, and the complete report, not just the first page, the complete report averages from 3 to 6 pages, just depending on your tax information that you provide. We will not be allowed to accept it for future, to proceed further in the scholarship process. Please make sure you are doing this before December 31st, so that way you don't have to wait on your tax information for the upcoming year. If you wait after December 31st, you have to file your taxes, wait for your tax return to get accepted, and then you can do your FAFSA. And so we know that tax information does not come out until after January 31st sometimes, or right at January 31st, and that does not give you enough time to get the FAFSA completed. So this is what the student aid report looks like. You'll see in the top right-hand corner, there's an expected family contribution number. That's called the EFC number. That is the information we are looking for. So section 6 moves into the Texas 4-H project experience section, and this is where you discuss your 4 most significant 4-H projects that you've completed in your 4-H career. We want to describe the years involved, the knowledge and skills gain, and the impact that it may have had on you. We want to put emphasis on the quality of your experience rather than the quantity. And please refer to your level of involvement, whether it be local, county, district, regional, or state, national, or international. You're not allowed to provide additional pages. So please make sure that you are being cognizant of that. So this is an example of what it could look like. Here, I will be perfectly honest with you. As a judge, it was incredibly difficult to read things like this in the short amount of time that we are given to judge an application. Even a table like this and having all that text run together is really difficult. So please make sure that you're working with somebody to organize your information and make sure that it's easy to read and that the important information sticks out. This is another example that you can look at. You'll see here that they list their project, the years that they were involved, the level of their experience, and then their significance. I really like the significance. I like to understand how the project or their participation has impacted them. And so it was pretty significant for me to understand that and be able to learn that about the 4-H youth when I was judging scholarship applications. So when we talk about leadership experience, this is a little different because we want to know the 25 most major leadership roles that they've had in their 4-H career, whether it is volunteer or elected promotion or elected or appointed leadership, whatever it may be. We want to know what that is. And so certainly in holding offices at your club level or your county level or even the district and state level is incredibly significant. And so we want to make sure that we're listing those opportunities here. This is an example of what it could look like. So you'll see here they have the year. If they were to, you'll see here that they mentioned that they were a San Antonio Rodeo school tour guide, and so they volunteered there. And you'll see here that they described their role, responsibilities, and duties in that position. So Section 8 refers to citizenship and community service. And so here we want to list the 15 most impactful community service and citizenship opportunities that they've had. As a senior, I would like to see that they have more primary leadership in the group as opposed to just doing community service projects by themselves or as a part of a group. We want to see that they are really stepping up and taking initiative in planning community service projects and citizenship opportunities for other 4-H members. So please make sure that you stress the importance of that. Work with your county extension agent. They have seen lots and lots of really good applications, and they can help you decipher what's going to be most impactful there. In this section, you will also list your 4-H honors. So this is all the honors or awards that you may have won in the 4-H program. Here's what I can tell you. If you've won the Gold Star, it needs to be listed. If you've won the Gold Star Award, it is a state level award. I'm going to repeat that again. If you have won the Gold Star Award, it is a state level award. Yes, we award them at the county level. We distribute our Gold Stars to counties to distribute, but there are state guidelines that have to be met, and so therefore that makes it a state level award. And so when you are discussing those honors, we want to know why it's the most important honor to you. Silver Star is not a state level award. That is a county level award, and those requirements are set by the county. So this is what the community service table would look like. You'll see here that they have the year, the activity, their role, and why it was important or the impact that they made there. And this is what it looks like for the award table. We have the year, the award, the level, and why it was important to you. So Section 9 is outside 4-H experience. This is where we want to discuss anything that is done outside of 4-H. FFA involvement, school involvement, whether it be athletics, FFA, UIL, theater, whatever it may be, band, whatever it is, we want to hear about it here. If you have a job, this is the place to tell us. If you volunteer at church or participate in your youth group, this is where we want to hear about it. And so you are limited to this page, but there's a significant amount of room there for you to explain your involvement to us there. So this is what this would look like. You'll see here that any extra volunteer opportunities that they may do, maybe in National Honor Society or in any other organizations. This is where we need to hear about that in this section. So the personal narrative is an opportunity for us to get to know the youth that is applying, the applicant. This is probably one of the most important sections. This is your opportunity to make yourself stand out. There are tons and tons. We probably look at 300 to 400 applications a year. Okay, every 4-H kid has great experiences. This is where you've got to make yourself stand out. So think about a famous quote, think about an experience, think about something that directly impacted your 4-H career. I can tell you when I was a kid, I participated in the Swine Project. And the one experience that probably taught me the most happened in my third year in 4-H, excuse me. And I had my Swine Project stress out on me in the show ring. And it was not a good result for me. But instead of walking away and giving up, my dad made sure that I persevered and stuck with it. And we dealt with the situation at hand. And so that was a life-changing moment for me. And so I can tell you that is something you put in a narrative. You want something that is going to make you stick out and make the judges remember you. So we want to talk about your history in 4-H, any personal obstacles that you've had to overcome, the greatest thing you'll take from 4-H, how it shaped your future, anything like that is what we want to know. So the narrative must be typed, in discussing any information that they want the committee to know about them. You have one page, and I can tell you it seems daunting, but if you have a substantial 4-H career, one page isn't even enough to discuss how the 4-H program impacted you. So please make sure that if you aren't having any luck with that, please make sure that you're working with your county extension agent, call myself, and let's work on that together. So the career narrative is an opportunity to discuss how and why you chose your career path. So maybe this includes college visits or career exploration. Maybe you've had some interviews or some investigations that you've done or research that you've done on job or career opportunities and the availability. Or maybe you had a very significant person that has impacted your decision in a career that you've chosen. This is the place to describe it. And so we want to know why you chose the career that you did in this section. So we want to talk about college visits, anything that you want us to know that may have impacted your career choice, or the decision between pursuing a degree or a technical certification, whatever it may be. So the acknowledgement of integrity is the statement that that you're telling us everything you've put in here is factual and truth to the best of your knowledge. And so we ask that, and we know that our 4-H members we hold them to the highest level of integrity, and we know that they are honest individuals. I can tell you that if you decide to be dishonest, they will find out. I can promise you that. And then your scholarship will be revoked. So for the Courageous Heart application, there are 3 additional sections. For the Courageous Heart application, there is an additional narrative that needs to be written to discuss the obstacle that you've had to overcome. There is a section for references that needs to be filled out, and those 3 references also need to write a letter of recommendation for you. So this certification, county agents will review the application for correctness, for quality, and completion. They will certify 4-H membership and the 4-H club and county enrollment. And the application must be approved by a county extension agent on 4-H Connect. Once it is approved by the county extension agent and it gets to the district office, this is where we will not allow any additional changes or corrections or supplemental information. So these are the deadlines that you will need to know. You'll see here that the deadline for submission to the county extension office is February 1st. The submission deadline is February 15th for district review and 4-H approval deadline. Interview notification will happen by April 12th. Interviews will take place in College Station May 3rd through 5th. And the awards assemblies will take place at Texas 4-H Roundup in College Station June 11th through the 13th. Please note that the status of approved on 4-H Connect simply means that the information was submitted. It does not indicate eligibility or an award of any scholarship. So there are some important things to remember. Please make sure that you have paid attention to the attachments and that they are uploaded in the correct boxes. Please make sure that the FAFSA includes the EFC number and that you have included the entire student aid report. Please make sure that you have a quartile ranking and that you have included your SAT or ACT scores either on the academic page and on the transcript or from a testing company. Please note that, and I can't stress this enough because this is what gets a lot of our youth in trouble, and I don't have any flexibility this year, so I'm fearful that I'm going to get some transcripts that have incorrect GPAs. And so please make sure that they are on a 100-point unweighted scale, that you're uploading them in the correct boxes. Okay? So I would suggest that you label each attachment with your last name and the attachment letter, so that way you're when you save the file itself, so you know that it is the appropriate attachment. Please remember that this is a competitive academic scholarship process. You are competing against the entire state, and so we really do have the best of the best competing for these scholarships. Applications change each year. And applicants change each year. So just because it worked for them doesn't mean it's going to work for you or work this year. The judges also change. So there's lots of variables in this. No, there are no set quotas for counties, districts, or regions. Fort Worth is the only stock show that requires participation in their show. And then to receive the San Antonio School Tour Scholarship, you must have been a tour guide this year. So if you have not signed up to be a San Antonio school tour guide, sign up. Those are $1,000 scholarships, and so please make sure that you are doing that there. Please remember that our donors set the criteria. We don't set this criteria. They have told us what they want, and so we are simply facilitating the process. Each applicant receives a total score. Scores are then sorted highest to lowest, and applicants are matched with the maximum dollar scholarship for which they qualify. Scholarships restricted to a major and or a course of study is verified each semester. So please do not think that you can go in with an ag degree and then go change your degree later, because it will have an effect on your scholarship. Please remember that narratives that have only been written once are rarely effective. And high school counselors need time to collect official information for those transcripts. So please request them now or towards the end of the semester. Give them time, or right when you first get back from Christmas break. And please make sure that they know that it has to include the first semester of your senior year. So the number one thing to remember is start early, edit often, and save often. Somebody outside of your family needs to read your narratives. It's best to have somebody that is not familiar with your writing style. It's also a good idea to have a English teacher or grammar teacher go through your narrative with a fine-tooth comb. So these are some final things to ask yourself. Do you meet the basic criteria and requirements? I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we don't put anybody on a wait list. We don't see if things can get better or if there's room. If you don't meet the minimum test score requirements, or the academic requirements, for lack of a better word, it's not a good use of your time. Don't even bother applying, because we don't make any exceptions. So if those are concerns for you, I really encourage you to visit with your county extension agent. Call me and visit with me, and let's try and figure it out. Please make sure that you have completed the application completely, and everything is in there. Did you tell your story the best you could? Did somebody check your grammar and spelling? Is your application easy to read? Know that you are one of 400 scholarship applications, and a judge has maybe 6 minutes to read your entire application. 6 minutes to read your narratives and look at your 4-H project experience. Did you include the entire student aid report? Is your transcript and your test scores there? Did you clearly and correctly select the appropriate submission category? And do you have all the necessary signatures that are required? So if you have any questions, please reach out to your county extension agent. You can certainly reach out to me. There is my contact information. I will tell you that starting on December 19th through January 2nd, I will be out of the office. Our office is closed down with the university schedule, and so nobody will be here at our office to answer any of those questions, and I'll have limited access to email. If you want me to review your scholarship application, I need it by January 15th. And that is to ensure that you give me ample time to provide feedback to you during that time there. So